Good day, everybody. Technology is key in this very generation that we are living in. So my mission is to give you the basic technology that you are going to need out there for you to be able to use efficiently use social media and the internet. But before we do that, please go into the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the like button so that we can be able to support our work. Otherwise, let us get into our today's business, which is the tutorials on HTML and the website creation. So welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Otherwise, you welcome back into we are continuing with our HTML lessons. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open our previous work so that we can be able to see, where did we store our work. I think it was HTML in here, and then so what we're going to do here, we're going to start code the Visual Studio Code, which is our problem. Remember that we said HTML is a markup language for creating websites, right? So what we did, we started creating the Google clone. So what happened here, we introduced the HTML text, the basic HTML text, as you can see now here. It is opening here. Introduce the basic HTML text in which each and every website out there you are going to find this basic HTML text, right? So what we did, we just introduced the title, the HTML head, then the title and the body text. So inside this text, we only typed this one. We only printed this, the good. And then when we printed this, trying to, what is happening here? Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start the HTML part so that you can be able to see. Oh, excuse me, I want to start index.html. Oh, okay. Where are we? Exactly. HTML. So why can't I set index dot? What is this file name? It should be index, right? HTML. Now it is starting. Oh, it was trying to play games, but then now it is starting. Otherwise, we are going to see how does our Google clone runs. So we created it in our previous tutorial. You can check it. I'm going to give you a link. You can check it if you didn't see it. But then this is what we did in our previous tutorial. We are trying to create a clone of Google like this one. Let me try to go to google.com quickly. Go to google.com, something like this, so that I can be able to see exactly. I want you to see exactly what we're doing. Okay, so we are trying to create something like this, right? Something that is going to simulate this with our basic HTML skills. I'm sure that you are coding along with me, because programming is all about you doing the practice. As much as you need to gain the training and the lessons, but the most important thing to do is you doing the practice. So without any waste of time, let us continue. What we want to do now, we said in this tutorial we want to create this text field, and then these two buttons, right? So that we can be able to search using our Google. Then we are going to be doing this maybe later during the tutorial. But then now we want to create the text field and then add these two buttons, so that you can be able to know how do programmers out there come up with something like a website, a fully functional website, right? So without any waste of time, let us continue. So for us to be able to edit the text field, what we are going to do now, we are going to introduce a new tag. That tag is called a division. We are going to give it a class name. Do we need to give it a class name? Yes, we're going to give it a class name. I'm going to let you know what a class is and what is it used for. But for now, let us introduce a new tag. So for us to be able to introduce, let me just type this: introducing a new tag. This, what I've just typed now, this one from here to here, we call it a comment in HTML. A comment is basically this type of writing that you don't want the compiler or your machine to run. As you can see, I've typed this, the Google here. When I go back in here, obviously, of course, when you after typing this, you are going to click Ctrl S and save, right? And then when you go to this your browser, you are going to refresh, which is Ctrl R when you are using Windows system. So what happens in here is, as you can see, the Google here is visible, right? Because I typed it in here, it is visible. But as you can notice, this one, introducing new a tag, is not visible in here. So that is what we call a comment. A comment is this type of writing that you are going to be using in your code, but you don't want the compiler or you don't want the machine to run it, right? It is used to create some logic. It is used to, like, when we are going to be coding it, maybe more than one people. When you want to make sure, maybe other programmers know what were you doing exactly in your code. So it is used in such instances. And for now, I'm going to be using it as this comment as my mother. That I am introducing another tag now. So the tag is going to be div. Do I need to? I'm just going to call it container, something like this. So this is the tag that we are looking for, the div. We open it here and then we close it in here, right? And then here is the class. So the class basically is used as an identifier for this div. This is a division, right? We call this a division. So the class is basically used as an identifier when I wanted to call this div or outside of its scope. For example, if I am going to call this div maybe somewhere in here in the head part, like for example, when I introduce the style here, if you can recall very well, we created this paragraph here and then we set its style in here. But basically in HTML, what we can do other than setting the style here, because as you can see now, it is taking too much of our space. Like styling in very same here, in this very same area here, it's taking too much of our space. We need to take the styling here out of this, right? So for us to be able to take our style out of here, we are going to introduce the style here, something like this. Inside the header with text, right? We call them head, not header. Inside the head text, what you do, you open the style and then close it, and then inside this you're going to add this very same style. So what happens now is, with this, the identifier, I am going to be able to call this div. I think now you understand why am I calling it identifier this. So how are we going to call it? We're just going to say dot and then container. We have a different variety. Let me see, variety of these identifiers. We can just call the tag name. We can call the class as this one, or we can also have what we call an ID like this, and then the ID we can call it count, something like this. We can have a class and then a count. The ID basically is basically for an individual tag, right, or an individual element. But then the container, we can use this in multiple elements which share the same name, container, right? We are going to be seeing it maybe as we are continuing our HTML lessons. But then for now, I think you'll understand. Now I am calling in the container here. I'm identifying the container. I want to give it the very same style that I was typing in here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to set maybe the border and then set the display. So what we're going to do, we're going to say order. I'm just going to say 1px solid. How do you write solid? And then maybe just make it gray, something like this. What is going to happen in here? We are going to have a gray border in this div. This div is going to be below this text, right? Okay, it doesn't have to be gray because our background is already gray, so we need to make it maybe white so that we can be able to see this board. Otherwise, let us just say what else do we need to add? Let us add a width and a height, right? We are going to say width, and then we are going to make it 80. I want to make it 80%, something like this, and then maybe height. What are we going to make it? Let us make it 200. Oh yeah, 200 px. Then now we can just create some radius, border radius, and then the radius is going to be 10 px. This is just some styling which you need to keep on practicing. You are going to understand it maybe as you continue practicing them. But then what is happening? The radius is the corners. It's basically called the corners. You want to have something like rounded corners in here, and then the height is the height of the division, and then the width is the width of the division across the window, and then the border is this. In fact, let me just Control S and then go to the browser and then refresh. When I refresh, this is what you are going to see exactly. So now you are going to see we have this border, we have this division, we have this Google text, and then this division. But as you can notice, now what is happening is the Google is this sideways, and then the division is this sideways. But what we want it to be below the Google text. So what we need to do, we need to go back to the styling, but now of the body element, because it is the body that is going to give us such behavior, right? So we need to go to this style and then choose here. What we are going to be doing here, we are going to say flex direction, and then because this direction is a row, we need to specify it to be column. So let us just say here column 9. So now when we Control S and then go back to the browser and run, we are going to see exactly what we wanted to see. So this is the division, and then okay, this is the text, the Google text, and then this is the division. And inside in this division, we are going to be adding our text field. I think you understand. But then I think now you understand what is happening. I said the border is this, is for these corners. If I can remove the styling of the border here, I will use the comments here. As you can see, this one okay, I'm going to talk about the comments maybe in later in the session. So now you must understand that when you see code that is grayed out, something like this, code that is no longer compilable in here, we are going to be calling it in a comment. So now if I save and then go back into our file, into our browser, and you can see now we have sharp corners, they have sharp edges and sharp corners. So then we are going to uncomment it, right? And then when we see, we go back, we refresh, and then we get our rounded corners. So we are going to play around with those styling and then see what you can get out of it. Otherwise, let us continue. So now we want to create a text field, right, inside our division. So the text field is simple. What we call it this one, we call it a form. This in web programming, this one is just called a form. So what we need to do, we just introduce a form and introduce a form elements inside the form. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into here and then type in the keyword form and then enter. And then here I'm going to have to specify the action. The action is basically that page which you want your form to go to when you click the submit button, because every form will have a submit button, right? So you want when you click that submit button, you want your form to go to a certain page. So for now, our action is going to be this very same page. So we're going to just put in this pound sign, right? This pound sign, basically when you are programming in HTML, this pound sign usually when you are referencing, it will be symbolizing that you want to go to this very same page, the one page, this very same page that we are in, the index.html, this very same page. So this form, when you click the submit button, it will be going exactly to this very same page. So what will happen in this form, we want to create a text field. So to create a text field, we are going to introduce a new kind of tag. This tag, we call it a self-closing tag, because as you can understand, or as you can remember, we have been creating our tags, opening them in here, closing them in here, opening them in here, closing them in here. But now we have this text which we call the self-closing tag, and these tags are like this. We're just going to say input and then type, and then choose the type of it, and the type of it we want. The of it now is going to be text, and then maybe name we are going to be saying search, and then maybe let us put a placeholder for now. We're going to type in the place search Google, and then this tag. This is a new tag. As you can see, this tag, we opened it like this, but then when we are closing it, we closed it like this. We say it's a self-closing tag. And this tag, when we run it now, let us just control save and run. When we run it now, you are going to see, it is showing in here. As you can see, this is the placeholder that says search Google, and then this is the okay, and then this is the text field, right? So what we can do now, as you can see, this, okay, maybe let's go to the Google page. As you can see, we do not have the border of the form in here, and then we also want to hide our border in here, because the border, I was just demonstrating how a division is created, right? So we also want to hide it. So to hide it, let's go to this and remove the border styling. I'm just going to say remove this, comment it out in fact, and then close, and then now you can see we have this search Google text field, right? We want to position it to be centerized in here, and then at the size, right? So what we're going to be doing, we are going to go to the styling. Remember that this is where we style our elements, and then what is this that we want to style? This we want to style what exactly do we want to style? We can style the text field, or we can also style the form. Let us begin styling the form so that everything that is displayed in this form can be centralized. So for us to style the form, we're going to do this, and then we're going to say display, just like what we did in the board. How to write display, and then we're going to choose flex for now, and then after flexing it, we are going to say justify content, and then maybe center, not baseline, 2%, and then maybe align items, and then it should be center. Okay, and then when we run this one now, we need to see our text field centralized across the form and the division, right? So what we need to do now, we need to increase the size of our text field and give it some bit of styling, the text field, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to get back into here and say, what exactly is this? Let us give this one an ID now. Let us give it a class, because we can have more than one text fields in a form. So let us give it a class. We're going to call it class, and then form input. That is going to be the class. And then here, for us to call a class, must recall that my form I didn't put in this dot before calling it. But then a class, I have to put it the dot in here. So for me to be able to call the class, I'm going to say dot, and then type in form, what to write, form input, something like this. And then in the form input, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I need a width to be, let us make it to 300 px, and then maybe line height. Do we need line height? Let us make it maybe something like this. And then for the radius, you can just put it for the radius, and then make it 10 px, 10 or maybe 5 px. And then what else do we need? Outline. You can play around with this stylings. You can just do them in your code and see what does this do in your code, what does that do, what does that do, what does that do. I think you understand. So otherwise I'm going to say outline, and then I'm just going to say none. And then what else? Okay, maybe we can save and then try to see what do we get. As you can see now, we get something like this, right? Now we can search Google, right? No, just joking. We cannot search Google because our website is not yet connected into the internet, but we are getting there, as you can see, into our Google text field. You will notice that this Google text field, it is more rounded compared to ours. So what we need to do, we need to go back into our code and then try to add the border radius. I think we need to use 40, type in 40 in here, and then save, and then go back and then try to run. As you can see now, it is more rounded than before. So what we need to do now, we need to make the search Google to be more like a bit somewhere around in here. So what we are going to be doing in here, we need to add what we call padding, something like this. And then the padding, should it be, what is happening now? Oh, let me choose padding left, and then I'm going to make it maybe 10 px, something like this. And then I'm going to refresh, and then you can see it is that just moved a bit in here from here to this one. You can also add change the font size in here, and then the background of the text field. In fact, let us just make the border to be 1 px, maybe solid, maybe white, right? And then change the background color to be, let us choose inherit for now. Want it to inherit, and then refresh. As you can see, now it is almost getting into what Google has, right? So I think in what we have just did, right? If you are following with me, if you are getting along, if you are coding with me, I think you now understand what is HTML and then what is styling, right? If you don't understand yet, please start afresh the video. You can start even from the first video. Try to follow everything that I was doing in there, and then you will, by this stage, you must be understanding what happens with HTML and what happens with styling, right? Basically, the styling here, we call this one CSS, but we are going to be talking about it maybe in future tutorials. Basically, what is CSS? We call it CSS, cascading style sheet, right? For styling our HTML pages. But what happens is in here, the styling is used for styling our HTML code, because basically our code in here is this one. This is what we are concerned with, right? The text, the HTML text, and the code in here. But then what we want to do, we want to style it so that it can fit, or it can be what we want it. It can be the display that we want to see, or we want our customers to see. As you can see now, Google has this, and now we already have what we call this. So for us, maybe to continue, let me just cut this video because I think it is very much long now. We are going to continue in the next video where we are going to add this size. As you can see, this one is a bit longer than ours. Here we are going to add the size, which is here it must be adjusted something somewhere here. We are going to make it like maybe say 450 somewhere. 450. In fact, we can do it now. We are going to add the size and see. So you now see we are getting it a bit longer. We are also going to add the width a bit, and then we are going to add these two buttons in here. This one, the search, and this button. And we are also going to add these ones, the two buttons in here, because we have this microphone button, and then also we have this search image here. It's an icon basically. So we are going to add it, and then we are going to allow our Google to be functional, fully functional. Exactly, we are going to create this clone to be much more exactly right. So let us cut this video, but before we cut this video, please go to the subscribe button. Subscribe so that you can support our work, so that we can be able also to give you the best quality of our service. Because if we get more people out there, then YouTube will help us so that we can be able to give you the best of the quality. I think you understand now. So please subscribe. Otherwise, I will be seeing you in the next tutorial.